America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for being here. Welcome to this July 21st City Council meeting. Katie, could I have a roll call for attendance, please?
Yes, Councilperson Bentley.
Here.
Bruns.
Here.
Flynn. Morrissey.
Here.
Soha.
Present.
Stuccio.
Here.
Wolfram.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Palladino.
Here.
We got 7 present.
Thank you very much. Okay, we will move on to the approval of the agenda. We have one item to add, an email from our electric director. Are there any other items to add to the agenda?
I moved to add the email from Jake Howell to communications decisions letter.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion on the floor from Councilman Soha, seconded by Councilman Bentley to add Director Hamill's email to the communications petitions section. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Anything else to add to the agenda? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So support.
Motion on the floor from Councilman Morrissey, seconded by Councilman Soha to approve the agenda as amended. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We have an agenda. We'll move on to public comments on agenda items. You have to take 3 minutes. Please state your name and your ward or address. And please limit your comments to items that are directly on the agenda tonight. The podium is open.
Matt Bell, Ward 4. First, want to say thanks to all of you for doing this. It's basically a thankless volunteer job, so thanks for your service. I just wanted to speak about 2 things on the agenda today. I was coming to speak about the MDOT TAP grant emails, but saw the Michigan SFS grant award on the way down, and I'm always glad to have grants as a citizen of the city, but sometimes what happens is the state says, do this awesome project and we'll give you some money for it, and then down the road we're stuck with the bill, maintaining it, it seeps chemicals into our ground, stuff like that. So I would just urge caution on the solar project out by the airport. It's a beautiful area out there, and maybe taking a look at how that will affect long-term the city's budget and also our ground, which we don't want to be polluted further. Second, on the MDOT TAP grant, the project that's supposed to fund, understand there's some question about, is it going to cost $200, $400, $1? Even if the state paid us to do it, guys, it's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea to close M99 down to 2 lanes. Everybody I've talked to, except for maybe 1 or 2 people who live on the road, are against that. And I would recommend, bring it back up and vote it down. We just want the road repaved. It's a solution in search of a problem. There's no problem there. We don't need to do a road diet and slow traffic down. There's not a great need for that. There aren't real studies that actually show that business goes up when you reduce it down to 2 lanes. It's just people who hate cars and who love Europe want to basically turn us into something like that. So I would urge you, please, as you're talking about this, talking about the funding, please bring it back up to vote it down, because everybody I've talked to is against it. And as a test, why not just put up construction barriers as it will be constructed, and put a sign here at City Hall. I'll even come down and hold it up on Saturdays when I don't have to work, that says, honk if you hate this traffic pattern. I guarantee there will be honks all day long. So just think about what the people would want. I know they can't show up, they have their lives, they're doing other things, but think about what they really would want and vote this down when you get a chance. Thanks everybody, and I hate to be the guy that talks and runs, but I got a date with my wife, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Bell.
Former
Councilman.
Thank you.
Any other comments on the agenda items?
Zach Steiger, 36 East Fayette Street. I think Mr. Bell brought up a great point, and adding on to his idea of closing down lane just for testing, see how it feels. We got a taste of that today out in Chicago here with the construction, or maintenance they were doing, and the traffic was backed up for quite a ways. And from what I could tell of the other drivers that I saw and was looking at, nobody was having a good time with that. And doing this road diet, especially going southbound, coming out for the corner here, any 18-wheelers get stuck in that first light. Basically, you're only going to have time for that 18-wheeler to get through the light before it turns red again, which is going to cause more traffic to get backed up, which is not going to be advantageous to anybody wanting to move here. People don't like traffic, and if they come here and the main thoroughfare through town is full of traffic, that's going to disincentivize from people moving here, especially if the local roads still continue to be the absolute third world level of road that most of them are. If we're spending money making our downtown look fabulous and look European, as Matt Bell said, but all the surrounding local roads excuse me, are in a condition that barely makes them drivable. Nobody's going to want to move here. And if there's a bunch of traffic on the main drag, nobody's going to want to come visit. And plus 18-wheelers coming through this town, if it's traffic backed up, as Mr. Novak started to allude to, but ran out of time in his defense against the road diets. Local manufacturing companies like Martin Rhea, being sandwiched between a road diet here in Hillsdale and a road diet in Jonesville, are going to be disincentivized from continuing to be here and offer jobs in our county. They're going to help them move somewhere else where it's easier for the trucks to get in and out, despite what other incentives we might offer them. And I would second Mr. Bell's suggestion to bring the road diet back to the council and to vote it down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steiger. Are there any more comments on the agenda items?
From what I read, more traffic flows with the road diets like through Tecumseh and other areas than it does with the 4 lanes. I don't know if that's true or not. There's a state report that was in the Detroit News, and they compared 3 towns that now have the road diets, and it wasn't one of them, but you got Coldwater, you got Quincy, they both have the road diet. Doesn't seem to be a lot of problem there, but I looked for the block party application in the packet. I didn't see that. I don't know if there was one submitted. It said there was, but I didn't see it in there. Doesn't say anything about insurance or nothing in there. I think it's a great idea. I mean, we have 3 colleges. Who wouldn't want their parents all downtown? I mean, I think that's great for the 3 colleges we have in town. How many towns this size have 3 colleges? I mean, I'm not sure that's the exact best date for the other 2 colleges. I would think whoever's doing it would want to compromise and get along with the other 2 colleges also, but I don't see that happening because I think they're a step above the common ordinary people that go to the other 2 colleges. I see that coming from those people, but that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Any more comments on the agenda items? Very well, thank you. I will close the podium and we will move on to the consent agenda. Are there any questions, changes, additions to the consent agenda tonight? Very good. I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion on the floor from Councilman Morrissey, seconded by Councilman Soha to approve the consent agenda as submitted. Any further discussion? Katie, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Councilperson Bruns,
Yes.
Morrissey,
Yes.
Soha,
Yes.
Stuchel,
Yes.
Wolfram, Rivera,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Palladino,
Yes.
and Bentley.
Yes.
Yes, 7 abstains.
Thank you, Katie. We'll move on to Roman numeral 6, communications petitions. Letter A is a perennial park senior center update. Do we have a representative from Perennial Park here? Okay, and there was nothing in the packet, is that correct?
They requested, so I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, we will maybe, could you reach out to them and see if they wanna come out next month? Thank you, Katie. Okay, we will move on to letter B, Kiefer Hotel Project verbal update.
Well, good evening.
Hi, thanks for being here.
Pleasure. Nick Fox with CL Real Estate and Development, for an update for the Kiefer. We have all of our permanent gas, water, sewer, electric is to the building now. We are going to be moving to the back to start the storm retention system that we're going to be putting in behind the building. So that's moving along. As you can see, the large fire escape is almost finished. It'll be painted once they get the rest of the mesh around the bottom, because the majority of that mesh is to hide the mechanical systems that will be in there. Then it'll get painted. Excuse me. We've had quite a bit of subcontractor turnovers that have been causing some delays. We have found new HVAC and plumbing contractors. Plumbing started back again last week, so we took some delays there, but everything else is moving along strongly. The electricians, the carpenters, low voltage technicians, everyone else is in there working very hard. The elevator is slated to go in mid-August if Schindler does what they said that they were going to do. Hopefully that continues, and we're just plugging along. Any questions?
Great, thank you. Any questions, comments from Mr. Fox? Councilman Bentley?
Did you lose Eric from Phoenix?
We did. So we have a new superintendent starting next week.
Any reason given?
It was his decision.
Okay.
So.
And Phoenix is still
Oh yes, absolutely.
so that's slowing down.
Any little half step is going to slow me down a little bit, and there'll be a bit of a learning curve. But I'm out here every week. The project manager will be out here all this week to kind of oversee the site until the new superintendent comes and do an official turnover and kind of educate him very quickly on everything Kiefer.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Could we request you back, what's the date? September?
Sure.
Is the Oprah date the end of October, is that correct?
I believe so.
Yes. Yeah, I can come back.
Okay, great, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks for being here. Okay, we will move on to letter C. Mr. Mackey on the grant.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So this is a solar grant that the BPU had submitted for. It's called Solar for Savings, and so the state and federal government are actually paying for the majority of this particular project. As it states in the summary, it's about $1.2 million project, and the grant is right at about $1 million. The city contribution will be about $96,000 now. Like kind of the TAP grant, until we pin down the final cost, it could change slightly, but that will be coming back to council in the final grant agreement, which we suspect will be sometime the first or second meeting in August. But that being said, the project is just a half a megawatt, and it's about 2 acres site size, so it's pretty small. But the premise behind this is the savings, have at least 50% of it have to benefit low to moderate income residents within our system, and then the other 50% basically just continues to lower the cost of our power. types of power, whether it's gas, whether it's coal. I don't think we do have still some coal left in our portfolio, but we have hydro, we have wind, we do have solar, so it's basically a mixed bag of investment energy purchases. And what this is, this will do at the lease side is actually lower that cost because we're only be paying a bare minimum for about $100,000. So, and will ultimately lower the cost for all our customers, just because of what we're having to. Now, if we had to pay the $1.2 million out of our pocket, we probably now would pursue this. But given the grant, it makes it very attractive and cost effective to be part of our portfolio. So, and quite simply, this is what goes behind the meter. So this will always contribute to our local electric grid. So it's kind of like the engines we put in. When the power goes out or the transmission goes out coming into the city, we will continue to have this half megawatt to put on our system as well as with our other engines. So it is a win-win at the price point, and it's like I said, it's only 2 acres in size. The airport will receive increased land rent for the site based on the market as opposed to what we get from our farmer, which is a fair price, and we bid that out. But solar lease rates are a fair amount higher. It should generate about $3,500 more a year for the airport.
It's about $125, did you say, per acre for agricultural use?
Correct.
Up to 1,800? Okay, very good. Yeah, following up on Mr. Bell's comment, could we get some sort of description of the, I don't know, maybe this will come in the grant packet, the lifespan of the panels, maintenance costs, environmental impact, cost per kilowatt to produce versus other forms of energy. And then I asked you about this privately, but the how this is going to work around with the changes in the One Big Beautiful Bill, the elimination of those tax credits. Those are some of the questions I have. Any questions from council while we proceed with this? Councilman Bruns or Councilman Morrissey?
Yeah, just the other thing that sometimes comes up with these is the other thing that comes up with these things sometimes is the issue of safety with respect to glare from the solar panels. Now, there is a 2021 FAA study for major airports which says that essentially it's not a problem because pilots are trained to deal with glare from bodies of water, skyscrapers, glass skyscrapers, that sort of thing. So I don't anticipate that it's going to be a deal breaker or anything like that, but it's something to be considered. If we could have some information about that, that would be good. Plus the financial things that Mayor Pro Tem has talked about.
Thank you, Councilman Morrissey. Good points. Thank you. Yes, Councilman Bruns.
Mr. Mackey, so just to make sure I'm understanding, it would look like something around a $200,000 contribution for the city.
Correct. So it would be about $96,000 cash or equivalent, and then the other would be in-kind contribution, which would be the APU work, getting the line extended out, and things like that.
And then it would be expected to turn about $3,500 annually for the airport. And is it possible, as we continue to discuss this, I don't know if this is feasible, to have a sense of the kind of savings that will be possible for BPU customers?
Yes.
It seems like that's also a relevant number playing in this calculation.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Thank you. Other questions? Councilman Soha.
Manager Mackey, is the 96,000, I was to understand that that's coming out of BPU's budget and not the city?
Correct. That would come from the
fund, and that is just for installation. We don't know the maintenance costs, or is that contracted out to a private firm? Do we have the capacity to maintain these in-house?
That will be contracted out to a company that specializes in that. It
Okay.
will be netted out as the annual savings.
Okay, very good. Councilman Wolfram.
But you had said some of this, the BPU contribution would be in-kind contribution, where your BPU employees would be doing some of the work.
Yes. Councilman Bentley.
Couple probably dumb questions. Why did you list the various sources of our electricity? This is, to my understanding, the only production of electricity we do, and otherwise we buy electricity as electricity. Is that fair?
So, the electricity we use on a daily basis is purchased on the market from various, as I indicated, assets in our electric portfolio. So this will produce all the time and actually lower what we have to purchase on a daily basis, or it's whatever the percent that it's efficient, because they're not extremely efficient, but that will always lower what we have to purchase on a daily basis. So the engines that we put in, the power secure units, we have two, one in the power plant and one in the industrial park, and the two big engines we have at the power plant, they only run when power prices get to a certain point. When power prices get to whatever that break-even point is, then we run them. And in some cases, we make money off running them because we're producing at, say, $300 a megawatt hour, and the market is $1,800 or $1,000. So then we make money running the engines to put the power onto the grid. But we typically don't run them until we are in the money. So.
And or mandated.
Correct.
And how often is that? I know we did it at the storm. Do we do it? Have we done it this year?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
When it gets extremely hot or extremely cold, we can be typically asked to run the engines. And the ask is more of a demand. We have a certain amount of time to get the engines up and running, and if we don't run, then we are penalized for not running. But if we do run, typically we're making money for the city and the ratepayers.
And is there any way to guesstimate how much money this will, the half megawatt?
Yeah.
Well, what does that look like in dollars for BPU or our customers or the city?
Sure. We can have, when we come back at the next meeting and talk about it further, we'll have that information for you.
Thank you. Last question. What is the time frame? It has to be, we have to start at a certain time, and we have to do the grant by when?
Good question. They're on kind of a fast pace, so I would anticipate in the month of August having the final grant agreement in front of council. So we'll have all these questions answered for you at that time, probably by our next meeting. But the timeline is such that we're basically looking at starting by the end of the year, with this being up and running by next summer, late spring, early summer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Stuchel.
Yeah, I was just curious if I read these could have environmental issues, like if there's a hailstorm or if they get damaged, but we're only dealing with 2 acres, so I'm just curious what the environmental risk could be.
Well, they have improved upon that. I can't really speak to that here tonight, but we'll make sure to have some answers for council when we come back. But I will say, this does have to be American-made, so this is, under the Buy American program. So these wouldn't be China panels made in China; they would be American.
Okay, that's good to know. Could you also comment briefly on the Coldwater Marshall project and how that relates to federal tax changes?
So there are two projects that the MSCPA group was looking at doing. One was a solar project in Coldwater, and then the other was in Marshall. Very similar to this, just a fair amount larger. They have more of a need for that power power than we do, but they are still moving forward, though construction hasn't started. Again, if on the tax credits that are set to expire next June 30, you have to have a project started before then, and then you can claim the credits.
And what's our investment in that? How many megawatts?
It was about a megawatt, but this half a megawatt could come off that if we, if we move forward.
Okay, yeah, I assume we will be seeing there's no way the state can maintain its mandate goals now with the federal tax credits gone, I'm assuming, but I guess that's a question for the legislature.
Yeah, that'll probably kind of create some changes for the utilities.
Okay, very good. Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, the MDOT TAP grant discussion.
All right, I will just kind of update you. We put the emails in there, and then the last email I put in there was my update to the council after we had our initial meeting with MDOT. As I expected, I think there were items that were being double counted or counted and not necessary for our project. Jason and his team have gone through, and Alan have gone through the numbers. So we do recognize that there's going to be a reduction in those numbers. They're working on them now. I think Alan is planning on entering them into the portal midweek, and then we have a scheduled conference or Teams meeting on Monday to review them again. We do, as I indicated, we do expect that the numbers, even the total cost of the TAP grant numbers will go down. I just don't know them. We don't know them today yet until we finish.
Down from 400.
Well, when I say, we were looking at the $1,016,000 for the total project cost, it will go down from the $1,016,000, I believe at least a couple hundred, $200,000-300,000, because part of that was a new traffic signal at Bacon Street, which was $200,000 itself, and we've determined that we can remove that from the budget. So that will bring down the total cost, both for the city's contribution and the non-participating. We'll know more at our next meeting. And I'll update council like I did next Monday after we sit down with the state and go through the numbers again.
That would be a Zoom call again.
Yes.
Okay. So I spoke to Mr. Wallace, and he mentioned that it would take 2 or 3 weeks to do this, but he also mentioned, and I guess I'm just saying this for an FYI for whoever, that their engineers are stalled. They're not billing hours because they're trying to reconcile these numbers with you guys, and then he says there'll be more opportunity for input from council or the people about the details of Mr. Beaker's plan. So I just want to let everybody know, once the numbers come in, then we'll look at the plan again and perhaps make adjustments to Bud Long Waldron and this intersection, because we still haven't gotten into the nuts and bolts of the non-staff people, the council and the people, don't really understand the details of the Cook Street and the Bud Long Waldron and the parking lot and the main intersection there. So I just want to make everyone aware, nothing is happening until these numbers are reconciled, and then we're going to dig into the proposal again, and then figure out the numbers again, and then have another public forum, and then vote again. Is how it seems to me. Does that seem fair?
That's fair. I'm not sure about the, since council, we'd have to look at the whole re-voting again since council approved it, how that would be accomplished, but yes, we'll bring back the numbers when they're entered. We'll have further discussion. And MDOT wants to make sure, like you said, that we've got it pretty well ironed out before they spend money on their engineers who will do the ultimate design.
Yes, I agree, and I have also been making them aware of how contentious this is and how the people are becoming more and more engaged in the process, and that we still have a lot of questions to answer. And he told me that he's going to need at least one more resolution, and I would just say, I think it's self-evident that the vote we took, I believe it was June 3rd, is essentially null and void, and that public forum was not adequate to hear from the people. So I'm going to insist going forward that we do both of those. So anyway, enough for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Bentley. All set on letter D. We will move on to letter E. Verbal update from Commissioner Ingles. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, City Manager. Tonight I have an update from our County Road Drain Commissioner, Matt Ward. The stump drain, which is an MDOT project, essentially is M99 and Camden Road. When the contractor starts on the M99 project, portion of the project, M99 will be completely closed to traffic. The detour that was worked out with the road commission is Burt Road, east to Burt Lake Road, south to Camden Road, west to M99. There will be signs posted on the detour route for MDOT road closure specifications. This project is split into two different segments. The work downstream of M99 will be done by Kellogg Drainage. The work on M99 will be done by Swarovski Excavating. The work downstream of M99 by Kellogg Drainage has been completed, except for restoration and seeding. This includes the road cut on Camden Road. The contractor patched the road cut today with asphalt. So Swarovski Excavating updated their start date to August 11 due to complications on the current project they're on. Substantial completion date for that project is still November 14 of 2025. Due to complexity of the project, Swarovski Excavating will not give a timeline. They will have a better idea on how long M99 will need to be closed once they get in there and get started. There are many unknown variables and it's difficult to give an accurate timeline. Just note the entire project is funded by MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation. So M99 South will be completely closed, and that will go through mid-November.
Councilman Summer.
When will that start, Commissioner?
They are starting now. The portion by Kellogg, which was Camden Road and the drainage on the southern part, has been completed, and Swarovski will, according to the information from Matt Ward, begin on August 11. The detour may start, plus a few days ahead of that. It depends on how they move in with the excavation, when they really can get started, but that's coming soon.
Councilman Bentley.
Do you happen to know how big that detour is and how troublesome it will be for trucks and commuters?
It'll be inconvenient. The end result is very good though. So, and there's no way to do one lane closure. It's quite an extensive, because of the swamp area there, they need to build the support, they need to drain it, they need to build it correctly so that the problem is resolved.
And there's already warnings up for the traffic there now, warning them as they're about to face a headache.
The warnings are coming, and me being here tonight is part of the information process. It's going to be inconvenient, there's not a doubt, and for some, the signs are never soon enough, and for some, seeing the signs is a challenge of itself. So, you know.
Any other comments or questions for Commissioner Ingles? Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
We will move on to letter F under communications and petitions. The resignation letter from Electric Director Jake Hamill. Dear Mr. Mackey, is it okay if I read it since it's not in the packet? Dear Mr. Mackey, I am writing to formally submit my resignation from my position with the City of Hillsdale. My last working day will be scheduled for mid to late August to be determined in coordination with you to ensure a smooth transition. This decision was not made lightly, as my time with the city has been incredibly rewarding. I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had to grow professionally, contribute to the community, and work alongside a dedicated team. I'm especially appreciative of your leadership and support through my tenure. I remain committed to assisting in the transition process in any way that is helpful, whether through training or replacement or wrapping up ongoing projects. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve the City of Hillsdale. I look forward to staying in touch and wish continued success to the city and all its departments. Sincerely, Jake Hamill. Okay. Comments, questions from council or staff? Councilman Bentley.
Manager Becky, was this out of left field? Did you have any intuition that this was afoot?
No, this one was out of left field. Yes.
What's the short-term plan? Is Jason gonna be able to?
One more thing.
Actually, it's not Jason, it's me. Because of the electric side of things, I'm our commissioner to the Michigan South Central Power Agency, and so I work alongside Jake on the projects and such. So I will have to basically assume a lot of those responsibilities that he is responsible for until a replacement is found. Again, this will be kind of similar to the water and sewer superintendent, that we have not received any applications for at this point, so we are going to address it accordingly with the staff we have and post for the positions.
Like the water situation, does he have a strong lieutenant that might be able to get up to speed?
That one is no. We do have a good lineman staff and foreman, which will help, but they don't handle any of the power purchasing and CPA stuff. That's strictly between Jake and I.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Morrissey.
I think we should accept the letter of resignation with great regret. He's one of our best employees for a long time. I've been on the council and he's been on various positions with the city, and he's always done an excellent job for us. So it really is a loss to us to have him leave.
Motion.
Yes. Support.
That's a motion from Councilman Morrissey to accept the resignation with regret, supported by Councilman Soham. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. I'd still love to get that electric tour if he has time before he goes. We can give him our thanks in person if there's, in the next 3 weeks.
I just have a question.
Yes, Councilman Stuchel?
Is there any thought about I'm not sure what I'm looking for is the right word, but some kind of hiring program, because we have a few key positions that are open, some way we can package the whole city? I mean, I guess, you've got some key positions we need to find and fill. And I'm just curious what the recruitment concept looks like.
For the city engineer and the water and sewer superintendent, we've been using the Michigan Municipal League advertising, which is somewhat expensive. Michigan Rural Water for the water sewer position, as well as Indeed. So we've been using those three. This would go along the same lines.
And this is probably on the assuming this is a small pool of candidates that are out there.
It is a very small pool of candidates, unfortunately, for most of these top positions, because of their certifications and the requirements involved. Like, you know, the water and sewer position, we have yet to receive a viable resume at this point in almost 2 months. Almost 3 months for the city engineer. The same thing. So I suspect we'll see the same length for the electric side.
I'm assuming we're gonna have to sweeten the pot and make it more attractive.
That's possible. That is possible, but we've got to get a resume in the door to get to that stage. Yeah.
Thank you, Councilman Stitchell.
Just please tell Jack, I mean, like Dr. Morris said, he's doing an outstanding job, and a lot of these, you know, professionals we have are homegrown people, and they love this community, and for them to be leaving, it's just, it's tough, so we do wish them well.
Yeah, and if I may add, I think, and I've said this to the board before, you know, we have a good staff here, and they're professional, they know their job. When they decide to look, it's not a question of if they're going to find something, it's a question of when and if it's attractive enough. And I will tell you, and we experience this with not only our department head levels, police officers, linemen, it's easier for another community to poach or to recruit one of our existing trained folks and pay them a little more money than to have to train them or put them through an academy or an apprenticeship. So, or even, you know, on a CDL license, you know, when we send someone to a CDL class, it costs us probably $3,500. So we require them to pay it back if they leave within a certain amount of time. Well, companies will pay it off for them just to get the employee, and that's kind of some of the just competition we're facing out there.
Well, it is turning into a worker's market. It is.
Thank you, Councilman Stitchell and Manager Mackey. Okay, any other questions or comments on letter F? We will move on to Roman numeral 7, introduction and adoption of ordinances / public hearings. We have an ordinance rezoning of 335 Northwest Street. And Mr. Beaker is here for us. Thank you.
So it's actually the rezoning of 335 and 337 Northwest and 315 Summit. All of those properties were purchased by the college with anticipation of the hotel expansion project. The college then requested that all of these parcels be added to their overall campus, which required a rezoning so that the entire lot was zoned C1. So the planning commission held a public hearing and then voted to recommend approval to council for the rezoning.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this item? Councilman Bentley.
I'm not sure this is for Mr. Beaker, but does anyone know, did the judge bless the replatting of the, do we know when that is? Anybody?
So that is not to the stage yet where it's even gonna go in front of the judge. I don't even know if they have served everyone or not at this point, because there are a lot of people to get served and have it go through, but we haven't even had a status conference or anything scheduled with the court yet. My assumption is once they get everyone served, that it's likely that there will probably just be a motion that's filed, because I don't think anyone will object to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion on the floor from Councilman Morrissey, seconded by Councilman Soha to approve the rezoning of 335 Northwest, 337 Northwest, and 315 Summit from RD1 to C1. Any further discussion? Katie, could I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Councilperson Soha,
Yes.
Stuchel,
Yes.
Wolfram,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Gallarino,
Yes.
Bentley,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
and Morrissey.
Yes.
7-0, it's approved.
Thank you, Katie. Something to add here? Very good. You want to come forward?
Yeah, Alan, could you come back up here? So Alan, I just want to thank you on behalf of the city. Alan is retiring at the end of the month. He's been, at the end of July, so he's been with the city longer than I've been, and I've been here 10 years. So how long have you been?
It'll be 13 years this October.
13 years with the city, and he's retiring, and he's done a very good job for the city in planning, zoning, TIPA, code enforcement, and I just want to wish you and Julie well on your retirements, and thank you on behalf of the council and the residents for your service.
Thank you very much, Alan. Okay. Any comments? Councilman Bentley?
Thank you, Jason, also, for picking
One
up.
more job.
Yeah, well, no, actually, he's got a formal replacement, is that right?
Well, so that's something we're discussing right now. We're probably going to be posting that position as well, because with the additional work at the BPU that I will be undertaking, Sam and others will be taking on additional responsibility as well. So that is yet to be determined how that's going to shape up.
Okay, so you think it's gonna be posted externally, internally, it's not figured out yet? Is there a timetable for that? And the Sam Fry is doing a lot of what Mr. Beaker's been doing, and what's it look like, and what's the time frame?
Sure. So, prior to Mr. Hamill's resignation, Mr. Fry was going to assume, because he does a lot of the economic development, the Economic Development Corporation work for the city, and as part of EDP, the Economic Development Partnership, Hillsdale County. Sam was going to take on or basically transition into that role for planning, TIPA, and zoning. And we were going to divide those tasks up. But with the change, with Mr. Hamill's resignation, quite simply, Sam is going to be critical to assisting me on the management side of things. So we're sitting down with the assessor, Alan's immediate supervisor, Alan, and Olivia, the deputy assessor, and we're trying to figure out what our direction is moving forward. But it is something we're lacking some critical people, so we have to make do and plan accordingly.
Thank you.
Thank you. All set? Any other comments or questions? We will move past Roman numeral 8, we have no old business, and move on to Roman numeral 9, new business. Letter 8, block party. We have a TCO street closure request for Howell Street between McCollum and Bacon. Chief, thank you for being here.
And yes, there is a right-of-way use application. I do not issue a TCO without one. I'm required to sign that, and so is Jason from the DPS before we move forward with putting it to council or even a traffic control order. The initial request was both for Howell Street and the one block of McCollum between Broad and Howell. I contacted the applicant, and because I knew Howell Street would be open for southbound, we had a conversation. I let him know we cannot close the intersection of McCollum and Howell because southbound traffic had to have an outlet from Howell Street. They could go west on McCollum if they were gonna close the block by the courthouse. He agreed to that. I moved forward, signed the application, had a conversation with Jason. We issued the temporary traffic control order for the event. I wrote the agenda summary, and then Jason and the applicant had a conversation after that, and then Jason got a hold of me. The final agreement is they really didn't need that one block of McCollum, so they took that off. We marked it off the application, and it's down to just the one block of Howell Street, the main block between Bacon and McCollum Street, for August 23rd of this year from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's a Saturday. He put on his application, the event is a community building block party to promote local businesses and introduce new college families to Hillsdale. I did leave him another voice message just inquiring if he had been in contact with the HBA or intended to. I have not heard back from him yet. He did say he could not be here tonight, so I was trying to get as many questions answered as possible if you guys had any. So that's kind of how this progressed through and got to where it is right now with the current traffic control order just for the single block. And that is for parking on that block during the event also.
Good. Any questions? All set, thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve. Oh, Councilman Soha?
Chief, forgive me, but do we normally attach what Mr. McLean requested to see to the agenda?
Yes.
Both.
It was submitted. Why it's not in the packet, I don't know.
It was just an oversight.
I overlooked that. If you like it, I can email that tomorrow.
Or if you would just put it on the agenda and then the agenda and publish it, that'd be
Okay.
sufficient. Thank you. Then I move to accept the TC.
I'm sorry, Chief, do you have any negative opinion about this? Does this sound good to you?
I do not, because of the fact that we close that block of Howell Street numerous times during the summertime, specifically on Saturdays. We did for the farmers market, it is for the parade, so this is nothing new to the downtown businesses.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Soha.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bruns to approve the traffic control order. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We will move on to letter B under new business, a land division request for 72 and 74 South Broad. Mr. Beaker is here again. Thank you.
So I'm here because Kim could not be here, but it had to go through both, since that area is a platted area, according to city charter, it must go through assessing review, planning commission review, and then be recommended to council for final review. So it has gone through assessing review, it has gone through planning and planning commission review. They have all recommended to council to approve the division. The division is 72 South Broad Street. The intent is to essentially divide it into a third, the west third going to being added to the parcel at 85 East South, and then the east 2/3 being added to the parcel at 74 South Broad. So the only request from both assessing and zoning is that the division be approved with the contingency that the divided lot be immediately combined to the adjacent lots, and they become two, larger lots, which is the intent, but we we'd like it in the minutes that it's contingent on the combination as well.
And that's a separate process that will be initiated after the division, or it can be done?
It can be done all at the
Right
same
now.
time.
Okay. Okay, good, thank you. Did any concerns arise during assessing or planning review?
Nope.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Yes, Councilman Soha.
Just for council's knowledge, that house that was there was a mess, and there was a number of people who tried to get in there to fix it, but what I understand about it is the roof was cut off sometime in the 70s, and they didn't do it properly, and then it was a black mold infested nightmare, and so having it torn down and excavated is actually a very good thing for the city, and then this is just a normal thing for the family to the south, immediate south, for them to have some extra room for their kids to enjoy.
Yeah. It's good that that house is down, that was a bizarre one. Okay.
I move we approve it.
For a second.
Motion to approve the division with the contingency that it be immediately added to the other properties. Seconded by Councilman Soham. Any further discussion on this item? Katie, could I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Councilperson Wolfram,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Palladino,
Yes.
Councilperson Bentley,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Morrissey,
Yes?
Soha,
Yes.
and Stuchel.
Yes.
7-0, it's approved.
Thank you, Katie. Okay, we will move on to new business, letter C, renewal of Microsoft licensing. And Brandon is here. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. This is basically the renewal, yearly renewal. Typically, this gets done on the BPU side, gets put on a consent agenda. So you guys normally don't see it except for consent. It was sent to me the day after our BPU meeting, so it has to be here. This is just purchasing our Microsoft licensing that we need to run our virtual system, our SQL databases, everything else. Purchase it through Sonnet. Sonnet Systems is our reseller that we've dealt with with Microsoft for years. $9,197. It basically needs to happen to keep our computer systems up and running.
Okay, good, thank you. Any comments or questions from council or staff? All set, I will entertain a motion.
So approve the renewal of the Microsoft license.
Second.
Motion on the floor from Councilman Soha, seconded by Councilman Bentley. Katie, could I have a roll call vote,
Yes,
please?
Mayor Pro Tem Palladino,
Yes.
Councilperson Bentley,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Morrissey,
Yes?
Soha,
Yes.
Stuchel,
Yes.
and Wolfram.
Yes.
7-0, it's approved.
Thank you, Katie, thank you for being here. That is the end of new business. We will move on to Roman numeral 10, miscellaneous. No, we have no proclamations or appointments. Please go to the city council website, hit government, hit boards and committees, see the openings we have. One alternate for board of review, I think they have a meeting tomorrow. 2 for Dial-A-Ride Advisory Committee, and 2 for the International Property Maintenance Code Appeals Board. And we will move on to Roman numeral 11, general public comment. You have 3 minutes. Please give us your name and ward or address, and you may speak on whatever your heart desires. The podium is open.
Jack McLean. I was looking, I don't see any minutes for the cemetery meetings. There's none in there any place that I could find. I went back to like the middle of last year or whatever. There's no agendas, there's nothing in there. I'd like to see something. Mr. Mack in his insubordination, I think, is when a person speaks the truth to correct someone that tells a little white lie that's documented in time-stamped material, then I wouldn't call that insubordination. And I think that anybody that would shouldn't, because it's general information that the person on council wants to represent, and all the people in the general public should know that stuff. And if it's not true, then it should people should be selected for their positions. You can't fill all your positions anyhow. So it's like, why not pick people you don't like? I mean, it's got nothing to do with you guys personally. It's like, pick whoever to fill those positions. You might be surprised you get somebody on there that you don't like. You might be surprised how good he is at what you're trying to do. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLean.
Hi, Kathy Kellerman, 90 Spring Street, Ward 3. I'm not sure if you can answer the question, but I'll just speak to all of you on my intentions of emailing Mr. Mackey. Can you retain an employee? Can you counteroffer? What I'm seeing since April is several prominent roles become empty, and that should be a concern. And so I heard a vote to accept a resignation. I'm not sure if there can be a counter offer to salvage that employee, that relationship. Statistically, it's cheaper to retain than to replace. I'm not sure how many of you are in the business of hiring or firing individuals, but in the industry that I work in, it's much less costly to retain them than to replace them. So, Mr. Mackey, I will be sending you an email tomorrow to ask you about that. And then I wanted to speak on behalf of Mr. Beaker. When I threw my name in the hat, so to speak, to run as mayor, I needed information on the road diet. Mr. Beaker was very generous with his time and willing to discuss that with me. So thank you for that. And then happy retirement. And then he doesn't own the road diet, so that's not his plan. It is the city's plan. So whoever takes that over, be kind to them. They're just fulfilling a task assigned to them because they work for the city. They didn't develop that plan on their own. They didn't seek it out. They're fulfilling a duty. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have a public comment to make? Thank you all. I will close the podium and we will move on to room numeral 12, City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We do have a written report in this agenda here. Just a few things I want to highlight. So the August 5th primary election reminder for everyone. For the mayor's election, that will be at the library from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. On election day for all 4 wards. Second item, crack filling work will start soon on major streets. This year's work will focus on West Bacon Street, East Hallett, and West Hallett Streets. Crack filling is a preventive maintenance technique that helps extend the lifespan of asphalt pavement by sealing the cracks to prevent moisture and debris from entering. This process is essential to limit crack expansion, base erosion, and eventual formation of potholes. And this is a process in which extending the life of our pavement. So this is one of the maintenance things that you should do to extend the life and get for your pavement and roads. Again, the summer property tax bills have been mailed and should be received by now. We offer several options to pay your tax bill. You can pay online on the city's website on My Bill button on the home page. There is a 3.5% convenience fee for that. You can pay by check and either put it in the drop box or mail it. The treasurer's office, you can pay in person. The treasurer is typically present from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then 1 to 3, Monday through Friday. Summer taxes are payable without penalty or interest through August 31st. Just a reminder about Tuesdays in the Park. Summer concert series continues. Again, this is at Mrs. Stock's Park, and the shows begin at 7:30. This is an event where you should bring your blankets and lawn chairs, and we do have a schedule of the different artists that play each week on that. So just encourage everyone to attend. Also, just came out that the Community Foundation is doing a Love Your Community grant. We're going to put this out in a post, but there are $2,000 grants for those in the community that want to address issues on improving the communities within the county. So the deadline is August 8th, so it's pretty quick. So we'll make sure to get it up, probably up and out tomorrow. And Sam will be on the radio, so we'll make sure to mention it. But they're looking for creative ideas to make all the communities a little better in Hillsdale County. In regards to making counteroffers, I will address this one because I'm sure council has that question as well. That is something we can do. I will say probably in this instance, the counteroffer wouldn't make a difference under this particular scenario, but you're absolutely right. It's better to pay a good employee a little bit more if that's what it takes to retain them. But in this case, it didn't, in my opinion, it didn't boil down to that. And it wouldn't have made any difference. So that's all I have. If there are any questions that comes up.
Yes, Councilman Soha.
Thank you, Manager Mackey. Just a point for the public knowledge, it's correct that we are not supposed to, when we rent Mrs. Stock's Park or use it for private events, that we're not supposed to park or bring vehicles in there unless they're directly related to the event.
That is true in some cases. Mrs. Stock's Park, in some cases, if there's handicapped or elderly individuals that need assistance, they do allow them to drive within the park. That is strictly monitored by the Mrs. Stock's Park group. I know you brought this up before, and I immediately spoke to Michelle Warren, and she shared with me that they actually mandate and to make sure that they meet that criteria.
I appreciate that. I always want to make those exceptions, but just for the public knowledge, Mrs. Stock's Park is or was a swamp once upon a time, and so the city would prefer cars not to drive or park on the grass because we like to protect the integrity of the park's grass surfaces.
Thank you, Councilman Soha. Does council have anything else regarding the city manager's report? Thank you, Mr. Mackey. We will move on to council comment. Do any council members have anything else to add today?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn from Councilman Soha, seconded by Councilman Morrissey. Is there anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Oh, the ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned.